You got a friend in me.
You've got a friend in me.
Celebrate friendship and beyond during the first ever Pixar Fest with the all-new Pixar-themed fireworks spectacular and your favorite park parades. Celebrate from April 13th through September 3rd, only at Disneyland Resort. Visit Disneyland.com for details.
There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you.
You got a friend in me.
Entertainment subject to change without notice.
You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
Welcome to Layers of Communication with your host, Lydia Taggart. Life presents experiences that add layers to who we are and how we see the world, affecting how we communicate. Lydia is here to take apart the layers and create new ways to connect and build relationships. So now, please welcome the host of Layers of Communication, your core boss, Lydia Taggart.
Hi, this is Lydia Taggart. I am your core boss, getting through the layers of communication so we can connect at the core. Today, we're going to be having a special guest with us, but I want to tell you first, you're listening to TuneIn Radio and the BBM Global Network. And this is the layers of communication. So the layers are how we see the world, and every experience we have adds a layer to our life and our experience, how we interact with everybody. And overlaying all of these experiences is time. I have an ebook on lydiataggart.com that you can get about how to create more time, and it's written by me, mother of quadruplets. Time has been such an amazing, massive influence on life, and I'm so excited that we're going to have a time expert here with us today. Amanda White is an amazing wife and mother to 3 beautiful daughters, and playing games with them is her favorite. Sometimes we forget to play. We need to make time for that too. So that I'm excited to hear all of these things that she's going to teach us today. She graduated from Utah State with a degree in mathematics and taught junior high math for 7 years before retiring to become a home educator. Life is busy for all moms, and Amanda learned quickly that homeschooling, running a business, and keeping a home clean only happens if you know how to manage your time and yourself. She loves sharing her lessons about time, and she has learned to help empower other mothers. I'm so excited to visit with Amanda about time management. Are you here, Amanda?
Yes, I am.
I'm so excited. So what brought you to be an expert in this field? Tell us your story.
Well,
how did you become a manager of time and expert?
So, like you read in my bio, I homeschool my mom. I don't homeschool my mom. I homeschool my children.
Yes.
And when I started homeschooling, I did not realize that teaching my children would take up like so much of my time. I knew it would be a lot, and I didn't realize how I wouldn't have the time that I did before to be able to get my home in order or do the things that I wanted to do or take time on myself. And I went through a period for about like that whole first year that I was homeschooling my children that I was really miserable and ornery, and I realized that it was because I wasn't managing my time to get the things that I wanted to done. I was educating my children, and there was a lot of other things that I felt like were falling apart because I wasn't managing my time. So that started my journey on to figure out how in the world can anybody do all of this and be happy?
Yeah, because I took my home, or see, I'm doing the same thing. I took my daughter home from school to homeschool her for 2 years while we found out that she had dyslexia. And it really rocked my world to try and organize all that. And I totally agree. There's so much more. Any kind of goal that we step into, we're almost always surprised at how much more it takes when we want to have a desired outcome. And we step into it and we're like, oh, this is not what I thought. We always forget something. They're doing construction near my home. And I remember when we added on our house, the remodel, and they said it would take a couple months. It never takes a couple months to add on to a house or to build something. It takes forever, way longer. So how did you compensate for that? How did you figure out how to make it work?
So the first thing I figured out was that I needed to get up in the mornings before anybody else in my home was up and going. And so whether somebody homeschools or they just have their job or their children, or this is the perfect place to start, is really taking a moment of self-reflection and saying, you know what time do I get up? And is that early enough in the day for me to get up? And I am very much a night owl. My dad growing up worked the graveyard shift, and my mom she didn't put us to bed because it was just us, and that was her company. And so we stayed up really late all the time growing up, and I just have always been used to that. And so I had to adjust that and say, you know what? I need to get up earlier in the mornings, especially before my kids, so that I have time to get me ready before them, and that I have some time by myself just to be me, to just be Amanda, so that I had the energy to give to them. But getting up and getting going, and I got up early anyway. I was a school teacher. I was in the habit of getting up, before 6 a.m. every day, but getting up just a little bit earlier than I had been gave me that extra time to spend some time on me and be ready myself before my children needed me, before I had those other obligations. So that's the very first place to start, I think.
Yeah. When we had our quads, it was really like, I need to take care of me, or there's no way I can take care of anybody else. And that's really hard to do as a mom. Or a lot of times, like my dad, he is a workaholic. He just really feels like he needs to work all the time, and he doesn't take time for himself. I see that in a lot of places, that we need to give, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And what do you do? What did you do at first to spend time on yourself, to step into that I'm going to take care of me moment? What do you do in that moment other than get up?
Well, I started with getting up, and it was probably at least a year or two later, like quite a while later, that I was feeling really burnt out and exhausted, and I was like, I am doing my best that I can to manage my time and get everything checked off my to-do list, and why am I so exhausted and burnt out? And it was because I wasn't taking that time for me to relax and do things besides just getting up and having a few minutes for myself in the morning. And so, first you need to be aware, what, I do need to take time for myself. Just like you said, it's so easy to become a workaholic because we can see our results really easily from our work. Did I get this done? Working usually brings in money. We can see the benefits of our work. But when we take time for ourselves, like taking time to relax or something like that, we don't really see a ton of benefits right away. But so I just started out one day. I decided I was going to take a bath, just take a bubble bath. That was not something I had ever done before. I was like, just feel really tired, and I just need to take a bath. my mom had always done that growing up, and I thought it was weird. I was like, why is my mom taking a bath? That's weird.
Like it's supposed to be just for kids. You grow up and you're not allowed to have a bath anymore.
That's exactly what I thought. That was like, as in my kid brain, that was it. Why does mom need to take a bath? Mom's just shower. So I just decided one day I'm going to take a bath, and that really, really helped me to be able to just sit there. And I decided I'm not going to read a book. I'm not going to, it's so easy with our phones to get them out and I'm going to turn on Netflix and watch a show or whatever while I sit here in the bath. I just chose to just be and have some time for me and just think and relax and take that time for me. And so after that, I had to make a list. Okay, what are things that I would actually like to do for myself? My husband asked me, well, what do you want to do for you so that you don't feel so exhausted? I didn't even know, Lydia. I was like, oh, that's an option. Like I can do something for me, especially, as moms, we get so caught up in taking care of everybody else. We forget that we have that choice and that we like things and that we can do something that we want. So make that list and figure out what it is that you want to do. Maybe you think back to when you were a kid and think, what did I like to do when I was a kid? What brought me joy and happiness that I wanted to do? Like for me, one of the things I like to do is go outside and jump on the trampoline. Right now it's getting cold, so that's not such my favorite thing right now. But when it's warm weather, I love that. But I loved that when I was a kid, so why wouldn't I like it now too? So if you're having a hard time figuring out what would I even want to do to spend time with myself, that's a great way to figure it out, to think back to your childhood and what you would have done then, or even your teenage years.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I remember when I first started trying to make myself a little more time and everything, and I really didn't know either. I was like, what do I want? And I couldn't remember liking anything when I was a kid other than making a mud pie, but I got in trouble for that. So I had a really, really hard time. And I actually went and asked a bunch of other women who seemed to have it together. I noticed there are a few people in my life that always have their fingers just beautifully manicured. I said, what are you doing with your nails all the time? And that was one of their things of taking care of themselves. And we can find these other things in the people that we admire or appreciate. So ask them what they do and what they would like to have on their list. Okay, we're going to go to a short break. And when we get back, we'll talk more about the list making and what we can do for ourselves to help us manage our time and ourselves better. This is Layers of Communication, and you're listening to TuneIn Radio and BBM Global Network. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. Stay close.
The earliest human societies worshipped a female goddess. Little is known about this time because we did not always have a written recorded history. It was around 3100 BC when the Sumerians invented the first written language, and everything that preceded this time is prehistory. The prehistorical record includes all of women's unwritten history from 30,000 BC to the time that men began achieving political power around 3000 BC. Male feminist artist Kimberly Berg maintains a strong position in educating and inspiring both men and women through his devotional art to the goddess in all women. Studying their history is paramount to understanding who women were and who they would become later living in a patriarchal society. To learn more about this important time in our history, go to www.isisrising.net.
Do you ever wonder why certain things are happening in your life? How to start a business or a new direction? Need answers? Astrologer Bonnie Perbula can help you reveal your true self and gain strength and focus so you can achieve greater joy and success. Working with a natal birth date, time, and location, Bonnie brings out qualities to aid you in getting the best from your life. She can help you unlock dormant traits to bring you greater awareness. Bonnie also conducts public speaking engagements to educate aspiring astrologers on their journey to the stars. Bears. A gifted artist, Bonnie bridges her talents and recently launched a line of Astro Bears, uniquely created in colors of individuals' astrology charts. She also makes one-of-a-kind necklaces of crystal beads and woven thread. To learn more about the world of Bonnie Prabula, go to bonniegprabula.com. And for astrology consulting, visit astrologyconsultants.com or call or email her at 808-526-1536 or bonniegp@aol.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart, and this is Layers of Communication. We're speaking with our special guest, Amanda White. She is a time expert. And before the break, we were talking about how to take care of ourselves so that we have more to give and have better quality time and service for the other things that we want to do, like our family and our employment. So we were just talking about making a list of things that we would like to do for ourselves. And Amanda, do you have any other tips of what we could do? We were talking about asking other people that we admire and appreciate what they do. What else can we do to find things to put on our list?
Well, I think I loved your tip to go and ask other women around you. And I think, so here's another thing that I like to do is to invite other people to participate in that with me. So like as a mom, I can ask other moms, that I know around my neighborhood or that I'm friends with, hey, do you want to come to lunch with me and just spend some time just with us? Because often that is also energizing and rejuvenating to be around other people and to know that you're not alone in the situation that you're at. And so my tip there is to just make sure that you keep your conversations positive so that it is a time of, rejuvenation.
Okay, we had a little blip there that I didn't catch all of your words. Keep us something blank. You're back. But can you repeat that, please?
Yes. So I was saying, I love inviting other people to come with me somewhere to do something. And then that is energizing and rejuvenating to be like, come to lunch with me, or, hey, do you want to come get a pedicure with me? And so then you can build each other up and realize that you're not alone in the situations that you're in, and just make sure that you do keep your talk positive so that it is energizing for you.
Yes. Other people have a support group. That's a great idea. We all need each other to support and help in some way. That's a great idea. All right, let's switch it up a little bit. What is time management?
Well, time is a resource that every single one of us has. And this is why I love time and helping people with our time, because no matter what, it is fair for every single person on the planet. We all have 24 hours in a day. And really, if you think about it, we cannot manage time. The time is going to pass no matter what. We can't stop it. We can't go forward in time. We can't go backwards in time. Time just is time. And so I think when people say, well, I need to be better at my time management, we're really talking about, I need to be better at my self-management and how I am using my time that I was given throughout the day. So, if you're saying, I just need more time, or I need to manage my time better, if you catch yourself finding those words, then it's a great time to take a step back and do some self-reflection and become aware of, okay, what really am I doing? Am I managing myself and doing the things that I want to be doing? Am I making progress towards my goals or my to-do list? And it's having that good relationship with yourself and having integrity with yourself in accomplishing those things that we are having good time management.
Oh, I really love that. So many times I hear people say that it's not fair they don't have enough time. There's never enough. And the phrase that really gets me is time is our enemy. Or how can it be our enemy? It's there for everybody. Everybody has it. And I don't believe that we're set up in this world to have a constant enemy like that all the time. I think it can be our friend. We can use it properly, but really it's not how do we use time, because you can't hold time or put it in a box or anything like that. It's just always there. We got to manage ourselves during our time. I love that. I love that. And staying in integrity, that's great. Yeah. That's
in the
bringing
movie,
back a bunch of
Alice, yep, but in the movie, Alice Through the Looking Glass, there, if you haven't seen that, I recommend it, but there's a character in there that is time. And he says that. He says, why do you think time is your enemy? Time is your friend. I just am time and I am your friend. And it is. Time is there for us and it is our friend, but we have to recognize that and choose that it's for our benefit and it is equal between everyone.
Right. Oh, we're going to talk more about having time as our friend after this break. And we are listening on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. It's Layers of Communication, and I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. Stay close.
Essential Nutrients LLC is the brainchild of entrepreneur Barbara Burns. Inspired by a desire to help others, Barbara worked with a team of scientists to develop unique nutritional liquid supplements with the goal to improve the quality of your life. Glucosamine, zinc, and calcium are essential to well-being, and this is the focus of Essential Nutrients LLC. Whether you're a professional athlete, weekend warrior, student, business owner, or homemaker, Essential Nutrients offers products for everyone, including the family pet. And they're easy to take, no pills. Health requires commitment, exercise, a good diet, proper supplementation, and action. So take action today and get your supply of essential liquid nutrients by visiting www.essential-liquids.com. Don't put off your health any longer. Take essential products today and start to measure the difference.
Unleash the obstacles that bind you with certified professional coach Joanne Charette, a master practitioner in energy leadership. Joanne can help you break through personal and professional barriers and guide you to a higher level of empowerment and fulfillment. Passionate and dedicated, Joanne engages with her clients on a mutual journey. Her dynamic energy will motivate you to move forward as you partner on a venture to greater results. Isn't it time to make a breakthrough and commit to live the life you deserve? Invest in yourself and let Joanne Charette be the catalyst to the realization of your dreams by making them a reality. Based in Quebec, Canada, Joanne is also a space coach, using social media and Skype to work with anyone, anywhere around the world. Contact Joanne Charette today at 819-360-3266 or email her at actionrealization@live.ca. 819-360-3266. Now is your time.
Welcome back. This is Layers of Communication. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. We're listening on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. We have our special guest here today, Amanda White, our time expert. Before the break, we were talking about making time our friend. And time is not the enemy. I'm really looking forward to getting more insight on how do we make time our friend. Amanda, what is your favorite way to make time our friend?
Well, you have to decide, why do I want more time? Why do I want to be friends with time? And make that list of what you want to do. And then for me, I just love to have a simple list. I call it the Daily Six. And if I can get my 6 things done in a day, then I know that I was friends with time. So that's my very simplest way. And this Daily Six comes from Charles Schwab back in the early 1900s when he hired Ivy Lee to come and help make his business more productive. And that's what Ivy Lee said. He worked with his top executives in the company, and he said, make your list of the 6 things you want to do every day. So the 6 is it's very powerful because you have a limit. Lydia, as a mom, Do you have a never-ending to-do list?
And then some, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So that having this never-ending to-do list, because we all have a to-do list that's never going to end. Everything keeps getting added back onto it. Picking just a few things that are your most important for that day, like limiting to 6 things, that helps fight the overwhelm that you feel like I can do 6 things in a day. And if you get more done, awesome, that's a bonus. But you've got your 6 and your limit, and you can feel some accomplishment energy. So that is my favorite, most simplest way to be friends with time, is just make my list of 6. And I have a list on my phone every day that says the daily 6, and I can keep track of it. So, and check in.
Oh, yes, the accomplishment energy. I remember one time we have 8 people in our house. So we have a lot of dishes, we have a lot of laundry, and it can take over the house if we don't do laundry for a couple days. And I know people who do laundry every day, and I know people who do a day set aside. This is the laundry day. And, if I did laundry either way, it doesn't work for me because we have so much laundry. And I remember one day, like you said, limiting it. And I said, you know what? Today, I'm going to make sure just everybody has something to wear tomorrow. And so I went and I gathered a pair of socks from everybody's room, and I got a pair of pants. I got one outfit for everybody to wear so that they would be prepared for their day just one day ahead. And that felt so amazing. Like, woohoo, we all have at least something to wear tomorrow. And, I was in kind of crisis mode at that point, of course. But it was so empowering to be able to say, I did it. And that accomplishment energy and celebrating that you've done just a short amount of things instead of going, oh, this is so much. My husband, one time he was home from work. I don't remember if it was a weekend or what it was, but I've heard all these people, you have your honey-do list. And so I let him enjoy this to-do list with me. I made a list for him. And for me, I just would list all this stuff. And as I would go through the day, I would be reminded, oh yeah, I need to fix that doorknob, or that sink is starting to leak, or, I would add to my list, and it would just get gargantuan. And so my husband was on this to-do list, and he got 4 or 5 things done of it on this one particular day. And it really made him sad and frustrated. He came to me and he's like, I didn't get anything done today. All I did was 3 things on the list. Look at all this stuff I didn't do. And I was like, oh, but you did these 3 things. That is awesome. So I think if we limit it and just don't even add it to the list, put it somewhere else. I've got these 6 things, these few things that I'm going to do today. Everything else can be on a list for when I'm ready to pick up something new. I can go to that and have it stored there ready and waiting for me, but I don't have to worry about it right now.
Yeah, and if you don't get, you have your daily 6, these are the 6 things I need to do today that are the most important to me. If you don't get them done, that's okay. I like to prioritize them and write a number 1 through 6. This is the most important. This is the least important. And as long as I get that number 1 most important thing done, the day is a success. It's great. And then anything that didn't get finished, because sometimes life happens, things come up. There's always things that we have to adjust around in life. And I think that's just part of being on the planet and living in this world and being with other people. But just carry those over to the next day and say, okay, these go on my list for the next day. And that's okay. That's totally okay.
Yeah, like my laundry day, when all I had to do, that was the only thing I wanted to do, was make sure we had something to wear the next day. One thing, that's the only thing I got done that day too. It was a crazy day. But what do you do with that feeling? How do you deal with, oh, I've still got all this other stuff that I'm not doing? How do you get over that guilt or frustration,
Oh,
whatever you want to call it?
I I think that is just a practice that you have to do over and over and over again, and recognize and saying, you know what, I did the best that I could. And when you really did the best that you could, then you just have to be okay with it. But, we feel that guilt, like, oh man, I didn't get everything done. And when we have guilt, that guilt, it really gives us two choices. We can say, oh man, I didn't do it. I wasted my time all day. I spent too much time on social media, or and we can go into a downward cycle where we spiral. And let's talk about the other choice in just a minute.
All right, yeah, we are going to a break now, so we'll talk more about guilt and our choices after the break. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart, for Layers of Communication. We're listening on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Stay close.
Animal lover, author, artist, and public speaker, Patricia Daly-Lipe is a Renaissance woman in her own right. A lover of animals from a young age, Patricia lives on a farm in Virginia and has rescued neglected thoroughbred horses, keeping them or finding them safe havens. She is also a published author, and her books document real-life experiences that she shares in her passionate stories, taking the reader around the world in a colorful kaleidoscope of life. An accomplished artist, Patricia Daly-Lipe's oil paintings feature animals, portraits, stills, nature, and abstract, and she allows the brush to paint the image in an organic, natural way. A public speaker, Patricia is motivated to continually wonder about life and advocates for all of us to do the same and document our own unique history. To learn more about Patricia Daly-Lipe, visit www.literarylady.com and www.patricialipe.com or email her at pdlipe@gmail.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Fagan, and I'm president and CEO of Fagan Associates, but I'm also a life coach. I'm here to help you reach your dreams, goals, and objectives. As a life coach, it's my job to be your support, to be your teammate, to help you understand what is your dream, what is your life passion, and then together we work as that team to help you reach your specific goals. Life is worth living the best you can be. Working with a life coach, you're fulfilling those dreams and goals is your passion, and it's your way of living. Let me help you do that today. Let me help you really reach the best that you can be as a person and live the life you should be living. I'm Steve Fagan. I'm a life coach, and I'm here for you.
Contact Steve Fagan at FaganandAssociatesInc.com or call 1-800-239-2701.
And I'll be glad to help you move forward to live the life of success. Reach your dreams, your goals, your objectives. We can do it together.
Welcome back to Layers of Communication. You're listening on TuneIn Radio and BBM Global Network. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. Today we're talking about time, and our special guest is time expert Amanda White. So just before the break, we were talking about guilt and how we have this guilt wrapped around time. And Amanda, go ahead and share with us that thought you were just about to start.
Okay, so when we start to feel guilty for not accomplishing like everything on our to-do list or making as much progress in the day as we wanted to, we have two choices on what we want to do with that guilt. We can take like a downward spiral path where we say, oh man, I'm so terrible. I can't believe I didn't get everything done. I should have done better. And we kind of beat ourselves up, which is the natural thing for most of us to do. We just go to like this negative mindset. Or when we feel guilt, we can say, okay, you know what? I didn't get everything done, and I maybe could have done a little better doing this. I could have spent less time on social media, or I could have gotten up earlier in the day, and I'm going to do better tomorrow. And we can just use that as motivation to go the other direction and choose to be more positive and kind to ourselves and say, you know what, I'm going to do better next time. Because when you're happy and when you feel good about yourself, then you get more done. And when you get more done, you feel better. And when you feel better, you get more done. Like it's this spiral upward where you can move through that cycle. And so you can use that guilt as a good thing to keep progressing, instead of using it as a negative thing to beat yourself up and spiral downward. Because when we're falling downward in that path of negativity and beating ourselves up, then we don't get anything done because we are in such a negative energy and mindset.
Yes. So would you say the real key to making time our friend is to eliminate the guilt and just be okay with us learning?
Yeah, for sure. Using the guilt as a positive thing to make a different choice next time. If you keep making the same choice, then you're not really making time your friend. But if you make a different choice and say, I'm going to do my best to do better tomorrow, then you're doing good. Like at the beginning, go back to that self-management. You're having that integrity with yourself and saying, okay, I did the best that I could. I didn't get everything that I needed to done, and I did the best that I could, so it's okay.
Yeah, so making time our friend is really making friends with ourselves.
Yeah, yep. So simple.
That's simple. Sounds simple, but putting it into action maybe another story.
That is another story.
So we were talking about earlier, I didn't even know what to put on my list. What would I want to do to spend time with myself? I don't know. Who wants to spend time with me? I don't know how to do that. So coming a long way from that point to be able to say, I love being by myself. Everybody else loves to be with me too. And pointing out the reasons why, finding those positive things instead of the negative things. And just saying, you know what? Guilt doesn't have to live here. So we've touched a little bit on being productive. What is the difference about being productive and just being busy and having a lot to do on the to-do list?
So I love numbers. I am very much a numbers-oriented person. I was a math teacher, and I sometimes struggle with words and what they mean. And so one day I looked up busy and productive in the dictionary because I was like, what do these words really mean? You hear people say all the time, and I've used them all the time. I bet you have too, Lydia, where we're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so busy. Or, oh, I wish I could be more productive, right? Have you ever said those before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, when I say, oh, I'm so busy, it's when I'm feeling like overwhelmed and I'm like, oh, I have so much to do and I can't do all of it and I don't know what to do. So you looked up busy. What does busy really mean? Well, busy is like we're constantly in motion and you have a great deal to do and you're keeping occupied. So if you catch yourself saying that, like think about, am I just doing things to keep me occupied? Because when we're busy, we are doing things, but are you just occupied? Or productive is like I looked up in the 1828 dictionary. If you're productive, you're increasing the number of crops you have or your product. You're having an increase of your results. If you look in the dictionary for today, it says you achieve or produce a significant result. And so if you want to be productive, first you need to know, well, what are the results that I want? If you don't know the results that you want, then you're never going to feel productive. So sit down and figure out, what do I want to create? What are your goals? That's why it's important to write down your goals so that you know what result you're looking for so that you can feel productive and you can get that result instead of just keeping yourself occupied all the time.
Right. And I'm thinking if we make our daily 6 list, like we were talking about earlier, if we make that list geared towards the results that we want, wow, that's a powerful packed with power way of making productivity happen.
Yeah, because you'll know your results. You can take your daily 6, and I'll tell you this about my daily 6 is that I have like one or two of those things on my list that are specifically tasks towards the goals that I'm working on. And usually the other four or five are like just things that I need to do as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner, just the normal things that you need to take care of. But simply having those one or two things to keep you going every day helps you feel productive, and you can see progress towards the results that you want.
Oh, and seeing the progress when you're tracking it like this, if you're writing down your daily 6 and you can see where you're going, that's an amazing tip too. Or we can just track everything and celebrate. When we get back from this break, we're going to talk more about progress and celebrating. And I want to ask Amanda some other really interesting questions about how this has influenced her relationships. This is Layers of Communication. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart, and you're listening to BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Stay close.
My Dreams, My Challenges, and Joys is an inspiring book by author Linda Genazzo. This real-life account of raising a child with autism from birth to adulthood takes you on a journey of compassion, love, and hope as it tells the incredible story of a devoted family and their beloved daughter. Together, they faced adversity and never stopped believing they would find the help they were seeking. A breast cancer survivor, Linda Genazzo has a giving heart. With a background in social work with the mentally ill and the homeless, Linda continues to help families in her community, and her book, My Dreams, My Challenges and Joys, brings greater awareness to autism and those families in need. To purchase your copy, visit www.lindagenazzo.com. It's also available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Don't delay. Get your copy today. Jenny Friend is a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified clinical sexologist, commonly known as a sex therapist, with over 30 years of experience in the field of sexuality. She's been a researcher and teacher and is further trained in human development over the lifespan. She's also a published author and a radio personality. Her specialized training in lifespan developments means she can help individuals, couples, and families through difficult developmental phases. Her primary ways of working are through the tools of cognitive, behavioral, and psychoenergetics theories and techniques. Couples, individual men and women, and families are also welcome. She can meet in her office in Costa Mesa, California, or on the internet through Skype at Jenny Friend MFT. Call 714-210-9200. You can also send an email from her website at www.centerforclarity.org. That phone number again is 714-210-9200.
Welcome back to BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. This is Layers of Communication. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart, and we are visiting with time expert Amanda White. Before the break, we were having a great conversation about making productive progress, not just being busy. And, one of the things that really, really bothers me about my time and my history with time is it's so easy to get distracted. I have this one thing that I want to work on, or that day with the laundry, it literally took me all day to get one load of laundry washed so we could have an outfit for each of us to wear. Because I kept getting so distracted, the phone would ring or I would see a bird out the window or whatever. I don't know what the deal was, but it's so easy to get distracted. How do we deal with these distractions, Amanda?
I think the biggest thing is to expect distractions because they're going to be there. As hard as we can try to get rid of them, there always will be distractions. So the best way to combat them is to expect them and plan this buffer time and plan extra time into what you're doing and your day so that you don't feel like you're getting behind or you feel too overwhelmed. You've already built that time in for them and you're prepared. And then if you don't have any, you have this extra bonus time and you're like, woohoo, I can get more done. So that is... That's what I do. Because I just know they're going to be there. I have kids. I have a husband. I have, business and people that rely on me, they're going to be there. And so plan that extra time in for them and just, maybe, and that's going to be a trial and error. Maybe you need to plan double the time for the distractions. Maybe you only need 10 minutes extra. And so give yourself some leeway as you figure it out, but no, it's okay to plan extra time for the distractions in there.
Oh, I love that. How has that affected your relationships with people as you've planned extra time?
Well, when I didn't do this, I found myself always trying to cram everything in. And I'm like, oh, I got to hurry and do this. I got to hurry and do this. And that would make me late. And then, or when you have distractions and you don't plan the time, then you're like mad at your kids and you're like, hey, why'd you distract me? And I didn't want to help you right now. I don't want to be the mom right now. I'm working. And so,
Right.
It causes a problem and a rift in our relationships. Like we get angry. We're not our normal nice self, and we dent those relationships. And we're like, oh, I don't want to be nice right now because you're bucking me. And it causes a problem in our relationships. So if you can plan that in, it's going to help, going to improve your relationship with the people around you because you already decided and knew that's going to happen and I'm okay with it.
I just had this image in my mind pop up about being hangry. You get hungry and then you get angry. Been working with my son, Brendan, about this the last week or so. He hasn't been eating his lunch at school, whatever reason. He's really distracted and he isn't getting his food into him. So I had this conversation about being hangry and you have to eat. And this is making me think of that too. If we don't have the time for ourselves, if we don't have that extra buffer time, it's like we get the equivalent of being hangry with our time. Tangry? What would we call that? We need time for ourselves. We need to be able to be fed and take care of ourselves and have that to-do list of what would we do if we were by ourselves? How can we take care of ourselves? And I think building that buffer time in there, that's got to go on my list of how to take care of me more, of just give more time, allow a little more fluidity. Fluidity is a word and it came out right. Wow.
Yep.
And I love that you're a numbers person because I've always had an aversion to numbers. So this is really fascinating to me. The tracking and all of the numbers. So as it's become easier for you, what is the biggest difference that you've seen in your relationships or just your personal life?
Well, my relationship with myself has improved the very most because I have improved that integrity with myself that we talked about at the beginning and the self-management. I've figured out what do I want. I make my daily sticks and I follow those things. And because I'm in integrity with myself, I have less guilt. And so I can feel better and do better and move in that upward spiral and like myself better. And then the ripple effect of that is that because I like myself better and I'm doing the things that I want to be doing and in integrity with myself, then I like all the people around me better. I'm a nicer mom. I feel like I have more time to serve my husband or my neighbors, and I have more of myself to give because I improved that relationship with myself and spent time on me. So, it starts with you, and then it just ripples out to everybody around you. And it's a slow process that you see, but eventually, if you can keep going and be disciplined to keep working on that self-management, you'll see those ripple effects and the benefits that come from really trying to manage your time and yourself and being more productive.
I love that, the ripple effects. And it just goes through all the layers of life. That's beautiful. Well, we're getting close to the end, Amanda. I want to make sure you have a chance to share with everyone who's listening. How can we continue this conversation with you? Where can we find you?
So you can find me on my website. It is ahigheryou.com, the letter A, and then the word higher, Higher, then the letter U.com. Or you can find me on Facebook. You can look up the group Every Minute Counts, where we talk about little things that we can do every day to make every minute count and make the most of it.
Fantastic. I'm definitely going to be joining those groups, or that group, and your Higher You. I've known that you've had this company for a while, the Higher You, and I really admire what you've been doing. It's about time for us to go to a break again. So Amanda, tell us again that website. It's ahigheryou.com. Is that correct?
Yep. ahigheryou.com, the letter A, the word higher, and then the letter U.com.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with us. I would love to talk with you more and have you come on again another time.
That would be fantastic. I would love that. It's been a pleasure being here with you today, Lydia.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. After the break, we'll come back and we'll wrap it up. And I've got a fun story that this has reminded me of about using time. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart, with Layers of Communication. We're on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Stay close.
WikiWags brings harmony back into your home for male dogs and their owners. Inventor and entrepreneur Linda Jangula has created the disposable doggy diaper wraps made with the male dog in mind. The built-in wicking ability prevents rashing and other potential health issues for your dog. Each wrap comes in 4 sizes and has dual reattachable magic tabs for easy adjustments. And each size has a 7-inch logo strip for adjustability. So they are comfortable and easy to use. No more fuss, just leave the mess to us. Whether you're in or out, your dog will be free to run about. Stop cleaning and start enjoying your home, and you can even leave your dog alone. To order your WikiWags, visit wikiwags.com, or to find out where to buy WikiWags in your town, visit mywikiwags.com and start enjoying having man's best friend around.
Intergenerational programming is uniting America due to the tireless efforts of Dr. Ramona Frischman. Retired from the Miami-Dade County Public School System, Dr. Frischman continues to develop intergenerational learning programs aimed to improve the lives of children, young adults, and seniors through unique strategies and public policy in order to establish a mutually supportive agenda. She views intergenerational programs as a resource for policymakers and the general public on economic, social, and personal initiatives that govern our society. Her work bridges the generational gap, providing many individuals the opportunity to explore areas of common ground and celebrate each other's diversity. Contact Ramona Frischman at ramonalong@aol.com or visit www.gu.org to learn more about intergenerational programming.
Welcome back to Layers of Communication on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. This has been an amazing visit with Amanda White, and her time, expertise, and tips on being more productive are just awesome. I want to share a story with you about my time when I was having our quads when they were little, and they were in first grade. And I have my 2 older boys. So we were all going to school. It was Halloween. And I thought, before this, there is absolutely no way that I'm going to wear sweats or pajamas to drop my kids off at school. No way I can do that. That's just humiliating. And I had this image around it that anybody who did that, fine, that's for them. But I can't. I just can't take myself down to be that tired. And so for Halloween this one year, I said, you know what? I'm going to dress up like a tired mom and wear my pajamas to school, because then I'll save all this time. I don't have to get myself ready. Everybody else is doing it. And I dressed up as a tired mom for Halloween, and I really was tired. So we went in there and into the gym, and I was watching all the kids in their costumes parade around, and it was a lot of fun. And I overheard these two ladies looking at me, and they were saying, she didn't even get dressed today. And I'm like, no, this is my costume. I dressed up like this on purpose. But I realized in that moment how important perspective is, and how we manage our time is really a personal matter. And that's what I've gotten out of this visit with our time expert, Amanda White, that it is taking care of ourselves more than anything else. Making time our friend is really being friends with who we are as ourselves. So that's what I really want you to take away today. Be friends with yourself, and time will be your friend too. So we've got a free ebook for you on lydiataggart.com. It's called Time Enough, How to Make More of It from a Mother of Quadruplets. And we can do it. Don't give up. Don't give up. You are worth it. And those relationships that you're going to build from being better friends with yourself and having friend be your time are just going to be so worth it for you. I'm really excited to see your life be happier and be more productive. And all these things are going to be just amazing if you take time for yourself. We are going to be talking with another guest next week. It's going to be Marianne. Oh, I don't have her last name written on this. Marianne is an expert in communicating, and we're going to have a great time with Marianne next week. I hope you tune in for that. She's got some awesome tips about how to really communicate clearly, and we're super excited to have her next week. Make sure you schedule some time for yourself. Get your daily 6 things written down. Limit yourself. Don't overwhelm with adding. Put those things that need to be done somewhere else, not on your to-do list. Don't live in guilt, because it's yourself that you're guilting on yourself, not the time. All right. We've just got a few seconds left, so I'm going to let you go with that. Make sure that you tune in again next week. Let your friends know to come too. This is Layers of Communication on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. Make it a great day. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Layers of Communication with your host, Lydia Taggart. Tune in next week as we break through the layers in order to communicate and connect down to your core on Lydia Taggart's Layers of Communication.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.